Yo, what is up, guys? Happy Sunday. It is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, back again today with another mock draft video. And today we are doing a 10-team half PPR draft on Sleeper app. Before I get into the video, I want to ask if you guys could please click the subscribe button that's down below or on the side, bottom right where my cursor is right now. Please leave a like. Please click the notification bell so you can get notified for every video that I'm releasing every single day. And also, please leave a comment about whatever you want. So let's get right into this. So like I said, it's a 10-team half PPR mock draft on Sleeper app. Our roster is one quarterback, two running backs, two receivers, a tight end, flex, kicker, defense, and six bench spots. So let's get right into this. We're going to be doing the. Let's go with the Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo, Tiger, Toe, the second spot. And let's get right into it. Turn the notifications off because if you have the Sleeper app on your phone and you draft with notifications on, you get like 9,000 notifications on your phone. So, friendly reminder for that one, folks. Let's begin this. And you can do this drafts on your phone. So, it is our pick. And the first pick was Alvin Kamara, so now it's our pick. And we're going to go with our number one running back that I talk about in every single video. The best running back in fantasy is Saquon Barkley. You may be like, oh, Nick, oh, God, Odell's gone. What is Saquon going to do? The exact same thing Saquon did when Odell wasn't there, which is put up fantasy points. So we're going Saquon here. Saquon has the running, the catching. He's got it all. He's even got a terrible quarterback, so we love that. After Saquon gets picked, we pick Saquon. Zeke goes, followed by Melvin Gordon, Christian McCaffrey, Devontae Adams, David Johnson, Le'Veon Bell, DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, Michael Thomas, Joe Mixon, Odell Beckham Jr., James Conner, Juju Smith-Schuster, Antonio Brown, Todd Gurley, Travis Kelce, and now it is our pick. So the first tight end went off the board. So what I noticed here, let me just tell you something. If you're at the back half of the draft, like the 9-10, I noticed that on the swing, if you're 9 or 10, you can usually put together two solid receivers like Julio Jones, Michael Thomas, DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Thomas, DeAndre Hopkins, Julio. It's something that's entirely possible to get at the 10 in these kind of drafts, which is a pretty good stack. Obviously, your running backs are not going to be as good, but obviously, when you have two receivers that are winning you every single week, then it doesn't really matter as much. The first tight end went Travis Kelce, which you're going to be seeing go in the first two rounds usually, and then the other two, Zach Ertz and George Kittle, the other good two, come soon to follow. So, the another thing I want to point out here is that Todd Gurley got picked, as I say in every single video. Do not pick Todd Gurley because he's injured. He has arthritis in the knee, and you want to be safe in the first few rounds. Get guys who are not injury prone or who are not currently injured. So, by saying that, don't draft Dalvin Cook. He is injury prone. He has played 15 or 16 games in 2 years, which is not good. That's like 8 games a season. So it's our pick, and we are going to not be going Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes usually goes in the first 3, 4. He usually goes in the first 4 rounds. And your at-home draft, you'll probably see him go in the first 2 rounds, maybe if you're playing with guys who are not as serious about fantasy or think that Patrick Mahomes is a god and will win you every single game, which is not true. So it's our pick. And we're looking at guys like Nick Chubb, Damian Williams. And we're going to go Chubb here because of the fact that I would rather go with Chubb in this draft because I usually draft Damian Williams at this position. So I think going Nick Chubb here would be pretty good because you want to make sure to diversify every single time you pick, and they're pretty much a coin flip to me. So going Nick Chubb over Damian Williams, I think Chubb may be actually now I think Chubb may be safer because I'm seeing a lot of things about how Damian Williams has never really been a bell cow, which I'm not even necessarily too worried about. But hearing all those things kind of makes me slightly worried, but I wouldn't be too worried. I'm still confident drafting Damian Williams, but I think Chubb may end up with a better season, so we're going to go Chubb here. Actually, out of all of them, I think Dalvin Cook may end up with the best season of them all, but he's too injury prone for me to realistically target him. So we're going to go Nick Chubb here. After Chubb, Dalvin Cook goes, followed by Mike Evans, and it's our pick. So we already have two solid running backs. We're gonna go receiver here because I think that if we were to, I think potentially we could wait and get a guy like Ertz or Kittle in the next round. And if we don't get one of those top tight ends, then I'm not too worried. Even though in 10-team leagues, I think it is advantageous to get one of those top 3 tight end guys. So we are gonna go with the best receiver on the board here, and that's Ty. Ty is on the best team out of these guys Indianapolis, Minnesota, LA Chargers. I think they're all on pretty good teams, but I think that T.Y. Hilton is like the best target on Indianapolis's team. And I think he'll have a solid season just like last year, get like 6 targets a game, potentially score a touchdown, and get you like 90, 80 yards and give you a solid like 15 points every week. I'm pretty confident in him. So we're going to go T.Y. Hilton. After we go T.Y. Hilton, Damian Williams is picked, followed by Leonard Fournette, Keenan Allen, Aaron Jones, A.J. Green, Marlon Mack, Adam Thielen, Derrick Henry, Pat Mahomes, Devontae Freeman, Kerryon Johnson, Amari Cooper, George Kittle me Timbers, Zach Ertz, Josh Jacobs, Philip Lindsay, and now it's our pick. So the big 3 tight ends went before us in the 4th round, so we won't be getting that tight end that we want. So it's our pick, and we're likely going to go running back, receiver here. And if we don't go the running back here, he's likely not going to fall to us. So we are going to have to go David Montgomery here. Now, David Montgomery is a guy that I would target because while for the same reason why I don't like Miles Sanders, I used to not like him because I thought, oh, they're going to use they're going to be in a running back by committee. But I think David Montgomery is going to take over and be that number one guy on the team, and Tariq Cohen's going to get the passing work. So, as you know, Tariq Cohen obviously is really good at the passing game, so that obviously limits David Montgomery in a half PPR format to not catching passes, which is something usually you tend to target. But he is a guy who I think could finish as a top 20 running back by the end of the season, and getting him as your flex and someone you could just put in your lineup is pretty solid in this type of a situation. So we're going to be going with David Montgomery here. And I don't think you can necessarily start in the first few weeks, so we'd probably go with another guy we draft to put him as the flex and not David Montgomery. So after we go David Montgomery, Stefon Diggs is picked, followed by Julian Edelman. And now it's our pick. Now, the thing is, I like Tyreek Hill more than these guys realistically, but I don't know how long Tyreek Hill is going to be suspended for. So I don't want to draft a guy like Tyreek Hill in this situation because I don't know how many games he's going to be suspended. Some people say 4. That's allegedly maybe 4 games. Some people think it'll be 8 games, 9 games, and I don't really know. I'm not Roger Goodell who suspends people, so I don't really know. And I'd rather just go with someone who I know is going to be playing every single week. So with that being said, or unless they get hurt, but it's hard to predict injuries when they don't really have much of an injury history. So we are going to be going here with the guy I pick in every single draft. I always pick Cooper Cup. Not never pick Cooper Cup. Actually, I don't know what I'm saying. Cooper Cup's injury prone. I would not pick him. I always pick Woods or Galladay in every single draft because I normally target running backs early, and they're like the receiver 2 option that I like. But in this situation, I am going to go Cooks over them because I do think that you should diversify who you pick in the mock drafts, and I do think Cooks could end up having a solid season just like Woods. So I don't think it's too risky here to go with Brandon Cooks because yeah, it could end up being better than Woods, and you don't want to necessarily put all your eggs in one basket. So we're gonna go with Brandon Cooks here, even though normally I go Woods or Galladay in this situation. After we go Brandon Cooks, Calvin Ridley is picked, followed by Tyreek Hill, Mark Ingram, Kenyon Drake, Sony Michel, Chris Carson, Cooper Kupp, OJ Howard, Tevin Coleman, Andrew Luck, Kenny Galladay, Robert Woods, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, Tyler Lockett, Mike Williams. Now it's our pick. And let me drink some water real quick. So now it's our pick. And 4 quarterbacks have came off the board and 4 tight ends. And the running backs that I really wanted, a running back that I target a lot, who I really like, Chris Carson has been picked. Chris Carson is on such a run-heavy Seahawks team that I think getting him or Penny on your team is so good. Getting one of those guys is they're probably 2 of my biggest targets that I try to target in every single draft. You usually see Chubb end up on my teams a lot. He's a guy I target, but I do definitely really target Chris Carson a lot. That's about all I have to say from the guys around there. OJ Howard you're going to be seeing picked slightly after the big 3 tight ends. OJ Howard goes in like the 5th or 6th round. And then guys like Hunter Henry, Evan Ingram, Eric Ebron will also be picked around there. So it is our pick. And we are probably going to go Matt Ryan in the 7th if he falls to us to see what it looks like if you go quarterback somewhat early. But we are going to go receiver here to fill out our. Actually, this is a hard decision here. Actually, we're going to go running back because like I said earlier, I don't necessarily trust having David Montgomery in the flex. Actually, no. I don't really trust having David Montgomery in the flex, but with that being said, we already have three running backs and two receivers, so we could go receiver here and just put him in the flex. So we are going to go Chris Godwin here. Chris Godwin is the number 2 on the Bucks, and obviously behind Mike Evans, and they're such a pass-happy team, pass-heavy team. Jameis Winston's a guy who's going to throw the ball to you whether you're open or not, or whether you're on the other team. He throws the ball around, he throws picks, but that's good because he's just going to be throwing the ball around. And with Deshaun Jackson gone and Adam Humphries gone, you're going to see those targets going to Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin had a solid year last year, even not being the number 1, putting up some solid weeks, or not being the number 2. He's going to be the number 2 now. So I think he could have some solid games this season, and I think he's a pretty solid flex option. So I like Chris Godwin this year. So we're gonna go Chris Godwin here. After we pick Chris Godwin, Baker Mayfield's picked, followed by Hunter Henry. So Matty Ice does fall to us now. Normally, I do not pick quarterbacks early, as you guys may have noticed from my videos. You can click subscribe and click the notification bell to get notified for all those videos. You can go back and watch those drafts, but I don't normally target quarterback early, especially in like a 10-team league, because I know you can find sell guys later in the draft. But I do like Matt Ryan so much that I'm willing to do it because Matt Ryan in this season has 13 games out of your 16 fantasy games in a dome. Now, if you're playing in a 17-week league, you're pretty stupid. Don't do that. Tell your commissioner not to do that because the 17th week a lot of guys are benched. So Matt Ryan's a guy I like because of obviously when you're playing in the dome, 13 weeks you don't have to deal with the wind, you don't have to deal with the rain, the snow, whatever. You don't have to deal with the weather. It's just typical weather in the dome. There's not going to be any wind or anything. So he obviously is going to play better due to that. So that's why I like Matt Ryan this year. And he's also just been a pretty good quarterback last year. He finished, I think, as the number 2 quarterback. He's only 34 years old. So he's probably going to have a solid year this year. And he's a guy who's always going to score you like 20 points. So I'm pretty confident in Matt Ryan here. I didn't mean to do that. I must have drafted him. After we drafted Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz comes off the board, followed by Jarvis Landry, Darius Geis, Sammy Watkins, Tariq Cohen, Tyler Boyd, Alshon Jeffrey, James Washington, Darrell Henderson, DJ Moore, Lamar Miller, Dante Pettis, Rashad Penny, Robbie Anderson, Drew Brees, Allen Robinson, and now it's our pick. So, the only guys I really want to talk about here, Sammy Watkins is a guy who I don't really like because of his. I think he's probably just get injured, and I don't think he's gonna play that great. A lot of guys hype him up, but if what's his name? If Tyreek Hill only gets like a 4-game suspension, I don't really want Sammy Watkins at all. So it is our pick here, and Penny got picked. Lamar Miller, the 2 running backs we would have targeted, but there's still a target that I like here, Latavius Murray now. I have spoke about him before in pretty much every video because I like taking him at the back of the draft because he's such a solid option. He's pretty much the running back 2. He's the running back 2 on the team behind Alvin Kamara, and obviously you're like, oh, you don't want to draft a running back 2, but it's okay because if Alvin Kamara was to go down, he'd be a top 10 back, and if Alvin Kamara even is there, he's still going to be getting touchdown. He's still going to be rushing touchdowns, and he's still going to be getting those yards while Alvin Kamara is off the field, and he'll probably end up doing pretty good, and he's a pretty solid flex option. So we're going to go Latavius Murray here. After we go Latavius Murray, the computer picks Christian Kirk and the Chicago Bears defense. And let me tell you something. The Chicago Bears defense is the only defense you can realistically reach on. They're the only defense I would pick before the last round. Normally I stream to the last round. Or I wait till the last round, pick a defense, and then stream them week in and week out, and I'll explain how to do that when we're making that defensive pick in a couple of rounds. So we are going to be picking here. We have our quarterback. We have our 2 running backs, our 2 receivers. We got our flex, and we got bench spots. And we have 1, 2, 3. We have 4 running backs. Yeah, 4 running backs and 3 receivers. So we're likely going to go running back here because you can just wait on tight end. Oh, speaking of that, 1, 2, 3. Only 5 tight ends have gone. So Evan Ingram fell to us, who's a solid tight end that I like a lot this year. I think that he's one of the only guys you're going to want to target from the Giants besides pretty much Saquon, him, and Sterling Shepard are the only guys I would target. And I think that regardless if it's Daniel Jones or Eli Manning, I think that Evan Ingram is going to get those solid targets. And while he got injured a few times, he got injured last year a couple of times, I think that he's pretty safe. And when you're drafting him in like the 9th round, that's definitely a solid point to do it. Normally, I wait a lot on tight end, but if I wait, I'm not going to get him, and he's obviously going to be a guy you can start week in and week out unless he gets injured. So we're going to go Evan Ingram here. And when you're picking a tight end like this, There's a week in on start, you don't have to worry about drafting a backup tight end. If he goes down, you just drop someone and pick up Evan Ingram, or if he goes down for the season, you drop Evan Ingram and you pick up another guy. After we pick Evan Ingram, Miles Sanders is selected, followed by Jared Cook, Jordan Howard, Ronald Jones, Eric Ebron, Will Fuller, Kareem Hunt, Sterling Shepard, LaShawn McCoy, Vance McDonald, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, Marvin Jones, Cortland Sutton, N'Keal Harry, Larry Fitz, and then it's our pick. So one thing I want to point out here, LaShawn McCoy's picked in the 10th round. Don't pick LaShawn McCoy. He may get cut. He may get dropped. He may get drop kicked. You don't want him on your team. You don't want any of the Buffalo running backs besides maybe in the last round going the running back Singletary. Even then, not too hyped about that, but it is our pick, and we are going to be going running back because we only have 4 of those guys. And you want to make sure when you finish the draft, you have more running backs than receivers, as I always state, because it is more likely that you're able to pick up a receiver that you can start off the waiver wire to put in your flex or in your receiver 2 than a running back that you would even want to start off the waiver wire. Now, more likely in a 10-team league, you may be able to find that, but if you're in a deeper league, it's even harder to find that running back or that receiver. So it's our pick. I want to go with the best running back available, and that's Royce Freeman. Royce Freeman's on Denver. He could be the number 1 on the team if Philip Lindsay got hurt at the end of last season. And they do pretty much run like a 2 running back set. And I think Royce Freeman he didn't do that great last year, but if you look at this, when Philip Lindsay was hurt, he put up 18 points. So he could be that guy. And I'm going to hope that Denver sees the potential they have in him and give him more touches. And hopefully he ends up being the guy that I think he could be. So we're going to go Royce Freeman here. After we go Royce Freeman, David Njoku's picked, followed by D.D. Westbrook. So now it's our pick. And we're likely going to go receiver here. And we already have 2 solid receivers and we pretty much have 3 solid receivers, so we're going to go with a more upside guy here. I want to go with DK Metcalf. Now, DK Metcalf is not a guy, I don't love him, and I don't hate him, but I do think that he could end up being a solid option because of the way he stretches the field. He's pretty fast. He can't really run too many routes because right when he turns, he can't do shit. Once he turns, he's fucked. He loses all the momentum, but he could be a solid option in the red zone for Russell Wilson. So we're going to go with that upside here. Normally we go with a guy like MVS or Kiki Kuti, but we're going to go with someone who I think has some solid upside. Normally I don't like going rookie receivers because they normally don't really do anything. Say with rookie tight ends, but fuck it, we'll go Metcalf here. After we go Metcalf, Cam Newton is selected, followed by Jerick McKinnon, Jared Goff, Corey the shit Davis, fuck that guy, don't draft him. LA Rams defense, don't draft the defense this early. Carlos Hyde, Ito Smith, Geronimo Allison, Phillip Rivers, Donta Foreman, Golden Tate, Jalen Samuels, Peyton Barber, Austin Eckler, James Winston, Damian Harris. So now we have 2 bench spots left, and then we are going to have to draft our kicker in defense. So we're going to go one more running back here, and then we'll probably finish it off with a receiver because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 running backs. All right, 1, 2, 3. We have 5 running backs, and we have 4 receivers. So we're going to go with running back here. And it ain't going to be AP because I don't know if AP is going to even be on the team. Washington, obviously, you should be drafting in August, so you will know by then. So we're just going to go with high upside here with this pick. And the upside of the pick we're going to go here is that I think that Matt Breida may end up being the best player on San Francisco, the best running back, and he may end up getting the job. As you know, last year he went down a bunch of times getting hurt, but he just got right back up and played regardless. So we're gonna go with Breida and hope that he ends up being the one on the team. I have to go Matt Breida, Kiki Kuti selected, followed by Adrian Peterson. And since Kiki Kuti would have been the receiver we wanted here, we already have 3 solid receivers. We're just gonna go running back here because we already have 4 receivers, and you want to get more running backs than receivers, as I said. And I'm not. I guess we could go MVS here since we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running backs, 6 running backs. Yeah, we'll just go. We'll go with the 6-5 because we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 running. So we're gonna have 6 running backs and 5 receivers. Normally I go with the 7-4, but it's okay. We'll go 6-5, and we'll go with MVS, Marcus Valdes-Scantling. As I've explained before, could end up being the number 2 on Green Bay. I think we'll end up being the number 2 on Green Bay. uh, that being the number 2 receiver behind Devontae Adams, and I think that he'll have a solid year just like he did last year. And being the number 2 on such a high-powered offense like the Green Bay Packers, having a guy like Aaron Rodgers, an elite, a Hall of Fame caliber tight end, a guy who's going to end up in the Hall of Fame, quarterback, I said tight end, quarterback, is going to have huge upside for you. So we're going to go MVS here, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. After we go Scantling, Cole Hardman is picked, followed by 2 defenses, then Tom Brady, Big Ben, James Washington, Curtis Samuels, Delaney Walker, and now I'm going to only talk about any key players that are picked, not kicker or defense. So Dak goes, then a bunch of defenses and kickers. And now I'm going to, like I said at the beginning of the video, explain to you how to pick a defense. So what you're going to want to do is go on Google, type in NFL schedule. Actually, I'll probably make a video about it, so you'll just type in my video, you'll find that. But if you don't have the video, you're going to go with type in NFL schedule and look at week 1 and then look at, who is a defense that's playing against a shit offense? And then that's the defense you're going to pick. So with that being said, and then you know what you're gonna do week 2? You just drop them and do the same thing unless they're playing a shitty offense again week 2. So with that being said, I haven't done that research, so we're just gonna pick the top defense here. Just pick Dallas. And then our kickers picked, followed by Alexander Madison. Madison is the handcuff for Dalvin Cook. If you have Dalvin Cook, you're gonna want Alexander Madison. And if you're going with a flyer at the back of the draft, you may just want to go him anyways, because if Dalvin Cook goes down, you just hold him. At the end of the season, you may end up having a top 12 running back, a guy that's a bell cow on Minnesota, which is an okay offense. And then here we go kicker. So when you go kicker, you want to just look up kicker rankings and find some fantasy analyst who has good kicker rankings. And you go by them. So we're gonna go Will Lutz here, top ranked kicker. After Lutz goes, a bunch of kickers: Deshaun Jackson, T.J. Hawkinson, Emmanuel Sanders, Austin Hooper, and then a bunch of kickers. So we're going to recap our roster here at the end of the draft. So we finished with Matty Ice as our quarterback. Our 2 running backs are Saquon Barkley and Nick Chubb. Our receivers are T.Y. Hilton, Brandon Cooks, tight end Evan Ingram. Our flex currently is David Montgomery, who would be flipped with Chris Godwin. Our kicker and defense don't matter, so our bench is either David Montgomery or Chris Godwin. And then Latavius Murray, Royce Freeman, DK Metcalf, Matt Breida, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. So thank you guys all for watching the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I hope that you click the like button. I hope you click the subscribe button that's probably on your screen right now. There's going to be a picture of Johnny Manziel throwing with that money sign. Click that. Click the notification bell down below to get notified for all the videos. Click the like button and click on another one of the videos that's on the screen and watch another one of those. So I hope you guys had a great day. Thank you guys all for watching and see you guys on Monday. Goodbye, guys.